everybody, and welcome back to Gaming on Caffeine. My name is Isaac, and we are back playing some modded Survival Island for episode 12. Now, at the end of last episode, we were dabbling in a little bit of Thaumic, and what I've gone ahead and done since the end of last episode is pretty much what we were doing at the end of last episode, is I've gone ahead and combined a bunch of aspects up in the research table to unlock more aspects. I've done a ton of scanning with my thermometer here all around the world to scan as much stuff as we possibly could to get as many aspects as we possibly could in the research table over here, and we now have, I think, every single aspect in Thaumic, which is pretty cool. So, you'll notice that now the research that we left in here at the end of last episode, the one for research expertise, now has some icons in it, and they're not just little question marks, because we now know which aspects these are. Now, the way that research works in Thaumic is you have to link all three of these aspects together by putting other aspects in these little slots here that are either used to make the said aspect or that are made using that aspect. So, for example, if we look up Cognito, if we look in our Thaumic, and we go to Aspects of Magic and we look up Cognito, you can see that's made using Ignis and Spiritus. Now, if we go over a few pages, we can see that Census is made using Air and also Spiritus, so we can see there's a link there. They both have Spiritus, and then if we look here, Spiritus is made using Victus and Mortis. So the way that we can connect these up is using Spiritus. If we put Spiritus down on both sides like this, you'll see when you put an aspect in these slots next to another aspect that it links to, so that it's either used to make or is made by, you get this little faint blue line that kind of connects them together, and the idea is that you connect everything together. Now, you'll notice that we don't have any Victors, but we can make some more using Terra and Aqua, like so. Boom, we put those two together, and we get some more Victus. We can then put that there, because we know that Victus is used to make Spiritus, and now what we need to do, the final piece, is this one here. We need to be able to link Order and Victus together, and it just so happens, if we look in our Aspect of Magic, I'm fairly certain that Sano over here is made using Victus and Order. So, if we were to go ahead and grab ourselves a little bit of Sano and put that right in the middle, that would link all three of the aspects together, and we have now completed the research for Aspects of Magic, and that is basically how research works within Thaumic. Now, as we progress on, the research will get harder and harder, and there will be more aspects to link up and all that kind of stuff, but basically, once you've got these completed research notes, all you have to do is go ahead and right-click them. It will say research complete, and now if we were to look in our Thaumic, you can see that under this tab here, basic information, you can see research expertise has this little glow next to it. That means that it's a new research that has been unlocked that we haven't yet looked at. You can also see it's up here as well. If we click on it, we now can read you'll become more efficient at performing research. Whenever you remove an aspect that you have placed in a hex, there is a 25% chance that you will regenerate that research point. So if you accidentally, for instance, put an aspect in the wrong square or the wrong hexagon on the research notes, it will kind of grey out and it won't work. I can show you this real quick. If we were to go ahead and unlock Research Mastery, it does say forbidden knowledge, mostly harmless. If we get too much forbidden knowledge, some bad things can happen later on down the line. But for now, this should be fine. So let's take our scribing tools and let's grab the research notes for Research Mastery and throw that in there. So you can see now we've got 4 aspects. So it's a little bit harder. Similar aspects because we're kind of going down the same route. We've still got Cognito and Census because it's kind of the knowledge aspect of things. But we've now got this one over here, which is Procantio, I think. I don't quite have my head around all of these aspects yet, but I know most of them. Now you got to link all these together. If you accidentally put one in the wrong space, for example, Terra, if I was to try and put that there, it doesn't link, it gets grayed out, it's not going to work. You can go ahead and just right-click, it'll go away. Because we've now got research expertise, we have a 25% chance of getting that aspect back over here once we've done it, because you will see we did lose a Terra when that happens, and you do lose one, even if it's the right aspect, it goes down, which is why it's a good idea to scan things to unlock more aspects for this little guy here. There are other ways that we can generate aspects, which we will get into a little later on down the line, but basically what I'm going to do now, guys, I'm going to go away, I'm going to do quite a bit of research on a couple of different things, because I don't want to sit here and bore you with me doing just a ton of research for the next 20 minutes, so I'm going to go away, I'm going to do some research for some stuff I want to make, and I'll be back in a second so we can progress on and make some pretty cool stuff. Okay, so a really long time later, we're back. I've done a ton of research, and what I want to work on now is I want to work on one of the main ways of crafting crafting stuff in Thaumcraft, and that is infusion crafting. So infusion crafting is kind of combining a bunch of different items together with a bunch of different aspects to make other items, really cool items that we can use and are really cool. So to start that, we need this guy over here, this runic matrix, and this causes a couple of issues. First of all, this is made in an arcane workbench, which as of right now we do not have. It's made using apparently 40 order, which we'll get to in a second, and it's made using some of these arcane stone bricks, which we also don't have, but these are quite easily made again in the arcane work table using some stone, any of the shards involved in Thaumcraft, as well as some more of these aspects from our wand. So the first thing we're going to need to do is get an arcane workbench. Thankfully, this is very easy to do, and in fact, is pretty similar to the way that we got ourselves the research table, because all we need to do is get ourselves a generic Thaumcraft table, and then right-click it with our wand. So, again, if we remember from last episode, we can make ourselves a table, like so, and then just for convenience sake, I'm going to put it over here with the rest of the Thaumcraft stuff, right about, I think, there should be fine. And then if we right-click it with any one in Thaumcraft, boom, it becomes an arcane work table. And basically, this is a normal crafting table. You can actually use it as a normal crafting table if you'd like, but it's a crafting table that you can use to make crafting recipes that involve using V from your wand. Now, V is spelled V-I-S, but I believe it's pronounced V, is basically aspects, but in your wand. So if I press shift whilst holding my wand, you'll see in the top left-hand corner, there are like 6 different bars, and all those bars represent the 6 different base aspects, you know, air, order, ignis, aqua, predator, and something else, but basically the 6 base aspects, and you can get those into your wand in 2 different ways. One is by killing mobs, which is why I have like 1 aqua and 1 air. I think those 2 are in my, or maybe 1 terra and 1 air. It doesn't really matter. Why I have some aspects in my wand right now is because I've killed 1 or 2 mobs whilst I've been wandering around, and every time you kill a mob, they drop these little orbs, which if you pick them up, you'll get experience, and you'll get a few little V to go in your wand. But the main way that you get these is from aura nodes. Now, thankfully, it did just go nighttime, and aura nodes are actually super easy to see on the ocean at night because they glow up, which is very nice indeed. So, you can see very faintly that there is one right there. They're a lot easier to see if you have your thermometer up, but you can also, again, see them on the ocean if it's dark. But mostly you can see them through your thermometer, and if we get close to this one, actually we can kind of do it just on the edge of our island here, you can see that this one contains 23 air, 49 aqua, and 43 ignis. And basically, if we pull our wand out and right-click on the aura node, it will start to pull those aspects out of the node and into our wand. You can see those bars filling up in the top left-hand corner. Do bear in mind that does pull the aspect directly out of the aura node, and you want to make sure you leave at least 1 aspect left in there, because these will regenerate over time. You can come back and take some more. If you take too many, if you take like all of the air and you take it down to 0, it can actually lose its air, and then when you come back, it just won't be there. It won't regenerate, so make sure you leave like 1 or 2 in there, just for safekeeping. We can go ahead and take a few more if needs be, and that's going to fill our wand up with stuff, so we can then go ahead and do crafting recipes in the arcane workbench. So, we run into a little bit of a problem with this recipe, because this recipe here requires 40 order, and the downside to the one that we have is it's not very good. The one that we have right now is a basic wand, and it can only hold 25 of each aspect. I'll probably say it somewhere around here, but I'm not seeing it. But the good news is there's another one that we can make, this guy down here, the Greatwood wand, which can hold up to 50 of each aspect. So we're going to need a better wand if we want to be able to do the infusion crafting, because we cannot possibly fit enough order into this wand to do the crafting recipe that we want to do. We could always go ahead and make some of the arcane stone. Again, if we look back under infusion, and then this stuff here, the arcane stone only requires 1 ignis and 1 terra with some stone and any shard. Do we have any stone lying around our system is a good question. I did upgrade our logistics pipe system as well, by the way, since the end of last episode. We now have the dump chest, which is this one here. If we put stuff in there, it will get sent to one of the chests over there, probably a default chest, but it'll get sent somewhere. And I also went ahead and replaced most of the cobblestone pipes with golden pipes, so all of the items should move a little bit faster now. Do we have any normal stone? We do not. We only have cobblestone. So I'll take, I guess, all 19 of that. I think I can... We'll take like 10, 20, 19. Boom, request. So that'll come over here. I'll smelt that up into normal stone. But basically, we're going to need a Greatwood wand. Now, to make a Greatwood wand, we need great wood, which is a type of wood. If we go over to thaumaturgy and look here, we need 2 great wood logs. Now, usually in a normal Minecraft world, you would just wander around until you happened across a great wood tree. You would then cut it down, you get some great wood logs, and everything would be fine. However, we run into a little bit of an issue, being that we're not on a normal Minecraft world. We're on a survival island where we are surrounded by water. Now, again, as always, we could go, like, really far out, try and find land, and then find a great wood tree that way, but that's boring. And so what I've done instead is I've added some crafting recipes for stuff that you cannot get in the normal game. Now, these will be available in the next update of this pack if you're playing it right now. These will be available in version 1.0.5 if you're playing the pack on the Feed the Beast launcher, which you can do, by the way. There'll be a link in the description if you don't know how to do that. But basically, what I've gone ahead and done is added some recipes to make some saplings. So if you're typing great wood, to make a great wood sapling, it's fairly easy because great wood trees are not all that hard to find usually. It is simply a normal sapling, any normal sapling, with any of the basic 6 shards, which also, by the way, represent the base 6 aspects. So if we were to head on over, we could request some, but to be fair, I think at this point, it's probably a little bit faster if we just walk over here and grab one of our shards. Like so. We'll take the aqua one because we have a ton of aqua shards, and then we'll just combine that up with our sapling. I'm now realizing that we had a normal air shard in there, but that's fine. Ignore that. And that gets us a great wood sapling. Now, the question is, and it's a question that I don't know the answer to, does the great wood sapling work with bone meal? And if not, does it work with the watering can? Both questions that I would very much like to find out the answer to. Both questions I'm going to try right now. I'm not quite sure if we have any bone meal. I'd like to think we do, but I'm not actually 100% sure. We do not in there, or in there, or in there. I'll check the request pipe over here. I know for a fact we have a watering can in this chest, so I will take you. Do we have any bone meal is the question. Bone, we do not. That's not good. That is not good. Okay, so we've got no bone meal. Alright, the question is, does the watering can work on the great wood tree? If it does, we're in a pretty good situation. If it doesn't, we might just have to cut away and wait for this thing to grow. I'm hoping that it does. Now, another sapling that we're going to need, whilst we just, like, sit here and water this, another tree that we're going to need is a silverwood tree. Silverwood trees are a little harder to find in a normal world. They're still not that hard. You just have to find a magical forest biome, and once you've found a magical forest biome, usually within there will be at least one, usually multiple, silverwood trees, and silverwood trees obviously are made up of silverwood and have really cool little green leaves, and again, we cannot get them because we have no trees around us apart from the normal, like, rubber and Minecraft trees. So, I've gone ahead and added another recipe. If we look over here, silverwood sapling. These are a little bit harder, so I made these using 4 logs, 4 air shards, and a diamond. So a little pricey. You could make a lot of them, but it would cost you a lot of diamonds. But thankfully, we do have everything it takes to make these. We're going to have to go and grab some oak from a nearby chest. I've already got a diamond on us. Look at that. I was all prepared. We'll take 4 air shards, and then we will run over. Do we have any oak lying around? We don't. Oh, we're going to have to walk all the way over to our robots, which thankfully are still doing a pretty good job. Since we added the leaf cutter last episode, they have been doing a pretty good job at making sure the tree farm doesn't stop. It's been doing actually a kind of great job of everything just, like, running smoothly. And I think we might have an excess of wood, which we do. Got a bit of a sapling problem. I will take some of these out just to kind of free up space. But we do have a nice excess of wood here. We're producing more wood than all of the generators on the island are using, which is good. And everything is running smoothly over there. I'll quickly dump these leaves. I was going to put them in the dump chest, but for now I'll just put them in there. And if we go in here, we should be able to make ourselves a silverwood sapling. Nice. So again, I don't think that this one will work with the bone meal or with the watering can over here. So I'm just going to kind of put this down, I think, like, right on the edge, like there, and leave that one there. Hopefully one of these two will grow fairly soon. In the meantime, we can't really do all that much. What we can do, though, is we can start working on a few of the things we need to make. We need to make a couple of items in the Essentia distillation section of the book here. And these will make a lot more sense once we've got infusion crafting all set up. But for now, just take my word for it that we need an alchemical furnace and this guy over here, the Arcane Alembic. So if we go over here, the alchemical furnace is very easy to make. It is simply a crucible, which is a cauldron, a Minecraft cauldron that has been tapped capped with an iron one. So again, let's kind of make our way over to the ingots chest, which I did upgrade, by the way, between episodes. You can see it's now a golden chest because we have a ton of ingots in here, and we didn't really have all that much space to store them. But if we do something like this, that gets us a cauldron. If we just plonk this guy down, it's still a cauldron. If we whack it with our wand, right click, boom, it becomes a crucible. That's it. That's a crucible. We can then go ahead and pick that up. We can then go and grab that stone from over here, because we're going to need that for the arcane bricks, and our jetpack's running low on juice. That is not a good thing. Let's quickly whip that off and stick it into the bat box. So we'll take you, we could grab some shards. I should say we should grab some shards. That's not a lot of juice, by the way, in our jetpack, but hopefully it'll last us for a little while. And those trees are taking their sweet time to grow over there. Let's just take like all 7 of these, just in case we need to use some other shards for some other stuff. We've got a load of aqua shards. But if we come back over here to our arcane work table, what we can do is we can stick this in the middle, we can surround it with stone, and that allows us to make these guys. Now you can see that it's saying you need 1 terra and 1 ignis in order to make this work. If you take your wand and stick it in the 1 slot, we can now make this stuff, but we're missing terra, so we need to find more aura nodes. Now, thankfully, I happen to know that there is one right about here, so I did a bit of searching beforehand, and we've also got another one over there that contains some order and some predito. But if we just go ahead and grab a little bit of this, we only need like 1 or 2 to start this thing off, but we'll throw that in there, and we can make ourselves some arcane stone bricks. Nice! We'll take all those back, and then in order to make the alchemical furnace, it was a normal furnace with some stone brick and a crucible. So again, we're going to need a little bit of cobblestone. I will just take a stack for now. That should be fine. We'll make ourselves a normal furnace, like so. I'm going to put the rest of the cobblestone back, so I don't want to be carrying it around with me, because that is just a big waste of inventory space. And then, if we head on back over here, we should be able to make the alchemical furnace. So, once we've got this, we can't really progress. Now, we are actually somewhat limited by the silverwood and greatwood trees that have not yet grown. So, I will put that in. We can make this guy the alchemical furnace. For now, I will put you down right about there. But what I'm going to have to do is, I'm going to have to go away. I'm going to have to wait for these trees to go. And I'll be back in a second. And again, a little while later, we are back. And the trees have finally grown. It turns out I think I was wrong about the whole watering can thing, because I left them for like 5 minutes and they didn't grow, so I came back again with the watering can, poured it over them, and they actually did grow then. So I think it does work. It just takes a little bit of time if you're trying to use the watering can on these 2 trees, but it might work. So just a bit of knowledge for you there. So these 2 have finally grown. Just to speed things up a little bit, I did grab 2 branches off here. The reason why I had to grab branches is, of course, we do have tree capitator installed, which means whenever I try and chop down the bottom of the tree, it automatically tries to chop down the whole flipping thing, which means that because the tree's so big, it takes like 400 quadrillion years in order for it to get anywhere. So I took 2 branches, I made myself the greatwood wand, which is this guy over here. I made myself the greatwood wand core. I then went ahead and did a little bit of research for these golden caps over here, which are very similar to the iron caps that we used on our wooden wand, but they don't have the negative penalty that the iron caps have, because if we look over here in our arcane work table and we look at our iron capped wooden wand, if we press shift, you can see it says V cost, and it says 100%, 100... And it says 110% V cost, which means for every time we need 1 V, instead we need 1.1. So every time we need 10 V, we actually need 11. So basically everything is 10% more expensive whilst we're using this wand in the arcane crafting table. So now that we've got golden caps, that is not the case. You can see here it says everything is 100% on our gold banded greatwood wand. And I've gone ahead and run around all of my local aura nodes to fill this thing up almost to max with most of the elements, which is pretty cool. So we should now be able to make everything we need for the infusion altar, this little guy down here. The first thing, of course, being the hardest bit, the runic matrix, is made using 4 of any shard, an ender pearl, and 4 arcane bricks. Let me quickly whip up some more arcane stone in here. We might actually have enough juice left in our wooden one to make at least 1 more, and we don't. That's a bit of a shame. That's fine. We can put that in there, and we can grab a few more of those. Now, I know for a fact that we're going to need at least a few of these pedestals. For now, they don't actually cost any. Oh, they cost 5 air to make. Okay, that's fine. We'll make a few of those. I think we'll make 6. So we'll make 2 more sets like that. We'll make 2 more sets of those. That takes us up to 6. And then I know for a fact then we're definitely going to need a few more of these. If that's the case, we'll take those. Because if we go ahead and look in here again, over the page, and if we go a few pages over, this is the multi-block that we have to put together. I'm going to try and put it together on the middle of this platform if I can get rid of this flipping greatwood tree. But it's a multi-block that we have to put together, and in order to do that, we need 4 of these arcane stone bricks, at least 1 pedestal, but we need the rest of the pedestals for other stuff, which we'll get to probably next episode, and then 4 normal arcane stone bricks, and of course, the center of it all, the runic matrix. So let me quickly go grab my ender pearl, which I think is in the default root chest over here, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll go ahead and grab... No? Oh, I'm fairly certain. Oh, it's in there. There we go. Yeah. Whew. I'm going to say I was fairly certain we had at least 1 or 2 ender pearls in our system. Also, what I might as well do whilst I'm here, I'm going to make an iron axe just to try and chop down this tree, because I know for a fact that that stone one that we've got is probably going to break. I said I know for a fact and then probably in the same sentence. I know for a fact that that stone axe that we've got is going to break if we try and cut down this tree, and what is going to happen is it's going to leave like a bit of floating tree at the top because it can't quite break it all. So, instead, we're going to try this. Here we go. It might take a little while, but I'm going to try and bring the whole thing down using my iron axe. I have a feeling it might not still work, so I don't know if the iron axe has quite enough durability to cut down the whole thing. I'm hoping it does. And we should, in fact, get a few more greatwood saplings from this as well, which is pretty cool. You can do this. There we go. There we go. Okay, yep, it took the whole thing down. I love it. All right, there we go. We got a greatwood sapling as well, which is absolutely lovely. Can we make wood out of these? We can. Whether that's a good idea is another question. Oh my gosh, we've got so much junk. So much junk. Let me throw away some stuff. Saplings, we don't need. The shovel, we can give it to that. There we go, that's fine. Let me just pick up this junk off the floor. And yeah, that's fine. Cool. All right, so we've got this guy. Let's throw that in there. Boom. I think it was 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. Yeah, not those. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. And yeah, along with 40 order, which we do have, gets us a runic matrix. So we will take you. We then need 4 of these, which means we do... Oh, no, we get 4 per thing. That's cool. So we'll take that. And now I have to find the middle of the platform, which I think is, like, here. It's here. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to put the pedestal down right there in the center, like that. We're going to put these guys down around it, like so. We then need 4 more of the arcane stone brick, which we have here. I'll just leave that in there for the time being. And we'll go and put 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then finally, the runic altar goes right on top there. And you do not want this guy in the middle like so. We can get rid of you. But then in order to make this work, we have to right-click on the runic matrix with a wand. But if we look in the Thaumic again, the wand has to be filled with 25 of each aspect, which, as of right now, I am almost certain ours doesn't, because we just used 40 of our 50 order on getting the runic matrix. We currently have 25 of everything but order. Now, I don't think that this aura node over here has enough order left in it for us to fill our wonder, but I also happen to know for a fact... Oh, we got 19 actually. It does. Wow, okay. We also have another aura node that has some order in it over by... Oh, we're going to run out of... we're going to run low on Predito. Hopefully we can get that up to 25 order. Oh, don't do this to me. Oh, it did it to me. Okay. If I keep trying to pull out of that, I'll probably lose the Predito, which I don't want to do. So instead, we're going to go over to my next nearest order node, which is my nearest aura node that contains order. And that is an aura node that's right there. If you can see where my cursor is kind of pointing. Right there, next to the wheat fields over at this village. Okay, so the one near the village was actually not the right one at all, but this one does have 16 more order in it, so hopefully that will get us enough, and that takes up 25. Good stuff, good stuff. We do have waypoints, so actually go ahead and teleport over to the Thorncraft waypoint over here, and then if we go, boom, we made an altar. This is now a fully made altar. You'll know it's done when it makes that cool little animation and this thing starts spinning. And then basically what we do is we put these pedestals around it, and these are the altars where we put our items that we're going to infuse with Essentia and make other stuff. So, for example, one of the things that we're probably going to make next episode, because setting this guy up to actually work is a bit of a pain, even though we've done quite a bit to actually get the thing. Getting it to actually work is even more of a pain. obsidian and requires our alchemical furnace, as well as the arcane alembic that I mentioned earlier, which requires that silverwood tree. But basically, if we look in here, one of the things I want to make next episode are these little guys over here, the boots of the traveler. And these are basically boots that let you run faster, jump higher, fall further without taking fall damage. They're pretty cool. And you can see to make these, we need 2 air shards, 2 enhanced fabric, a fish, a feather, and then 25 iter and 25 volatus, which are both aspects which we can infuse into these items, and some leather boots to make boots of the traveler. So for this, we're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pedestals around this thing. So we're going to have to make a few more, as well as get some of the aspects seemingly from inside of items, because right now the only way that we know of getting iter and volatus is through certain items. If we look in aspects of magic and go along here, volatus, for example, is found in bows and feathers, and then iter is found in, I think, I have no idea. It's found in rails and apparently the inner side bit of a nether portal. So we're going to have to find a way to get the stuff out, the aspects out of those items and into the altar here, so we can infuse the other items with them to make our boots of the traveler. But with that, guys, I'm going to end today's episode there. We'll continue with this next time when we come back. Also, by the way, our silverwood tree has grown, and you'll notice the grass is changing color, and that is because a silverwood tree does in fact change the nearby biome to magical forest. You'll see with deep ocean and magical forest. So that magical forest biome will spread, and probably eventually all of this platform here will be this light green color and will be a magical forest biome. But like I said, with that, guys, thanks for watching. If you did enjoy the video, be sure to hit that like button. It really does help out a lot, and leave a comment down below, and I will see you guys next time.